She wrote again after 20 years, with her mind. Every once in a while, a story emerges that forces us to pause, not because it's impossible, but because it feels inevitable. In July 2025, a woman paralyzed for 20 years wrote her name again. She didn't lift a pen, she didn't touch a keyboard, she didn't even blink. She simply thought it. Her name is Audrey Cruz, and for 2 decades ALS kept her in silence, unable to move, unable to speak, fully conscious but trapped in a body that no longer listened, until she became part of a Neuralink clinical trial. A small hole, a robotic arm, a coin-sized chip, surgically implanted into the surface of her brain. And 3 weeks later, Audrey moved a cursor with her mind. She drew a cat. She typed, "I can finally talk to my son." This wasn't a prediction. It wasn't a concept video. It was real, documented, filmed, proven. And yet, it barely made headlines. The chip they installed, it's called telepathy. It's Neuralink's first publicly demonstrated brain-computer interface. It doesn't just read brain waves, it deciphers intention. When Audrey thinks about moving, the chip detects the motor signals in her brain and wirelessly transmits them to an external device. It's not magic, it's not mind reading, it's engineering, precision, and perhaps something more. Because here's where it gets unsettling. This isn't a one-off miracle. Neuralink is building a pipeline. They're opening human implantation clinics in major cities, San Francisco, Austin, New York, Seattle, with the goal of installing this tech into 20,000 people per year. By 2030, that number scales to 100,000 annually. This is not just a medical revolution, it's a commercial one. They're not stopping at paralysis. They plan to restore sight, eliminate chronic pain, treat mental disorders, and someday stream thoughts directly from one brain to another. But with every dream comes a cost. If your brain is connected to the cloud, who's watching the signal? Could insurance companies deny you coverage based on brain data? Could governments monitor your thoughts under national security laws? Could your emotions be tracked, or worse, manipulated? Audrey's chip doesn't just let her type. It lets machines listen to her brain. And eventually, machines might talk back. We've always used tools, sticks, wheels, phones. But this is something else entirely. This isn't an extension of the hand, it's an invasion of the mind. Right now, Neuralink has one goal: help people like Audrey. And they are. But the same chip that frees can also enslave. We're building technology that speaks the language of neurons. And once that door opens, you can't close it. So the question is no longer, can we do this? It's, should we? Audrey's story is miraculous. It's beautiful. It's a signal of hope. But it's also a warning, because when the mind becomes code, it can be hacked, it can be sold, and in the wrong hands, it can be rewritten. If stories like this fascinate you, subscribe now for more eerie tech tales that feel like science fiction, but are already happening.